welcome and thank you for being here. And let's see here. What I wanted to talk about today is some of the elements that were on. Let me just get back to the Fred Gleeck site and specifically the training videos here. And just tell you a little bit more about what Avish and I completed this morning and what this means for you if you're an information marketer and how you might be able to capitalize on this yourself. You can see this is a portion of my site. It's at fredgleeck.com/training-videos. And this is a complete information, a complete free audio program on information marketing that we just completed. If you see here, there's 58 different components. And down here, it's these last three. I don't know how to do this, but this thing won't go away, whatever that heck that is. There it is. Okay, I'll move it a little bit. So anyway, we've only got 4 items here that still have asterisks on them, and that's because my webmaster Stanley has not yet put them up. But this is a good template for you to try and follow if you're trying to put up some free content. What we did is broke everything down into very small component parts, and luckily this is now completed. If you click on any one of these, you'll see it'll go to both an audio program as well as the transcript of the audio itself. And so if you take a look here, I picked one at random. It had to be the creating products having to do with seminars. And so what happens is as soon as it loads, we have an audio player here and then a transcript down below. Now, one of the things you should know is this. Notice that although this program is free for people to go to, there are some revenue models here that you don't want to forget. And that is that on the right-hand side, all of these are links to products where people would pay for them. So those are paid products that they can link to. And also I'm having Stanley develop some smaller ads to go on the left and the right side of the player itself, because these audios are not downloadable, but they have this little player box. So I'm having Stanley develop some print ads, some small text ads to go here and here on both sides of the audio player. So that when people press on it, they're obviously, if they're doing nothing better, they're sitting there and looking directly at
Fred, so far we're talking
blah, 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 as we go through our thing here, and they will notice this particular, these ads, so while they're looking at it. And that'll make it so that there will be revenue generated even with free products. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking at doing this for a few of the other JV partner sites, but that gives you an idea of where we're going with that. And so, Avish, let's talk to them a little bit about speakingexpert.com. Anything going on there?
No, other than the fact that we were talking about doing something similar here, taking our products and creating a full free listen online only thing just to drive people to this site and make it stickier so they'll stay on the site for a while.
Yeah, and the reason why is that, again, if you don't have traffic, no traffic, therefore no money. So one of the things that you have to do is understand that until you get traffic, you can't generate any cash. So we're trying to figure out ways with speakingexpert.com, which, by the way, is probably still getting, what is it, about 250 unique visitors every week, is it? Yeah.
No, it's around 20 a day.
20 a day.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
like 50 to 20 a day.
Got it. Okay, so it's about 600 a month.
Yeah.
So 600 a month. And again, it's really tough to make substantial money unless you have a lot of visitors. So what we're trying to do is figure out a way, and by doing something like I'm doing with this site, or people go to the free information marketing training, and what'll happen is we're hoping we'll get a lot more visitors, A, and B, that they will stay longer on the site. If they stay longer on the site, obviously it's better for everyone. Avish, anything to add to that? Because Avish is sitting right next to me here, so we'll ask. Anything? Bueller?
Yeah, I don't think so right now.
Okay, so Speaking Expert then, which is this particular site that I have with Avish, we're trying to get more people to come to the site, and we're probably going to put it under, we're going to put a red link like I have here that says free information marketing training. Now you notice one of the things I've done on the site, which I think works pretty well. I have to look at more of my numbers to be exact on this. But I like the fact that we have 2 things in red that are showing up. One is resources to help you build a thriving ethical information marketing business, and the other is the free information marketing training. So when you go to the site, Avish, other than seeing the pop-up there, where do your eyes go?
Yeah, certainly they get very quickly to the red menu because it's it's different from the rest of the menu. It stands out.
Got it. So then when people click here, they go to this entire listing that we just saw of all the different things. Now, by the way, I have not finished all these yet, but I have posted and put up the titles to them. That's why you see the little warning up at the top right that says, items that have an asterisk have not yet been completed. And that's okay. People will just be coming back and looking for the various things there. And some of the things, I was just looking at a couple of the things on the list today, Avish, and I thought, a lot of these things, I've been trying to do them with video and recording a ScreenFlow video like I do the webinars. And I just thought, this is crazy because there's certain things that don't really lend themselves well to video. For example, I was looking at one of these and I thought, wait a second, this should be done in audio, or this should be done in a different form. And Dave Hamilton has just come on the line. Dave, how are you?
Good, Fred. How are you doing?
I'm good. So do you have anything new and important to report that we can put up on the site for people to see on the page?
Well, not necessarily for people to see, but I always have new and exciting things, Fred. I'm working on some things, and it's funny, there's a lot of things coming together, even our conversation the other day. Is Elliot there?
Elliot's not here, but Vish is here.
Hey, Dave.
Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go. But the thing that I'm working the most on, which I think is going to be huge, is the membership products. Meaning, when people think of membership sites, they think of vast, monthly type services. But the ability to take any product that you have and sell it as a membership product, meaning they have, instead of shipping a product to somebody or instead of asking them to download it immediately, you give them access to a special members-only area. I think that's going to go a long way. We've talked about this, Fred, but the big reasoning is, well, a couple things. It allows a regular product to give the appearance of a high-ticket product because there's so much value associated with it. You can include videos, you can include a members forum, you can include all kinds of different things, and it just gives a lot more value. Plus, you can deliver digital products you could never ask people to download. Videos or full day seminars, they can all be embedded in there, and I've got some people that are just really excited about this. So anyway, that's kind of one of the things that I'm working on.
Question for you. Well, of course, people will want to host these at cool. Let me see what it is. CoolStorageTool.com, which is my affiliate link for Amazon S3. So my question to you is this: so if I have a lot of videos sitting on Amazon S3 and people are coming to my site and watching a lot of videos, do we have any? I know it's cheap, but do we have any idea about how much these cost per minute or whatever it is? Because I think the biggest bill I've ever gotten is $11.
The biggest I've gotten, I think I've barely broken $1, but I don't know. I mean, it's something to the order of a couple pennies per gigabyte per month, something like that. So you got to be doing some serious traffic to do that. And I just read an article about hosting things on Amazon S3. One of the reasons why it's very important is if you're on a shared hosting plan, which most people are, or if you get a dedicated one, the worst thing that could happen is you get a big surge of people coming to watch a video or a launch or something, and you quickly exceed your bandwidth limit.
Yep.
And Bluehost just shuts you down. So if you self-host your videos, you're going to hit that very quickly. So that's one of the reasons why it's important to host your videos on Amazon S3, or should I say CoolStorageTool.com.
Exactly, that's it. That's what we want. Yeah. So that's something that I would encourage everyone to do, is to get their own. Now, by the way, we should also make it clear to people that the CoolStorageTool.com is not just videos, because I'm hosting all the audios there as well.
Yeah, images, videos, audios, anything you want.
So the whole idea here is that we basically are using it's if you picture it like this, folks, when you are hosting things on a shared hosting plan and you have a video up there, you're paying like Neiman Marcus prices for storage and video storage space and video serving time. Whereas if you do this, you're basically paying Costco prices for your video to be hosted and served to the people who watch it. So you're
Yeah,
getting, yeah.
and you know,
Go,
just a clarification for. I'm sorry, what did you say?
no, go ahead.
I've had a lot. It took me a while to kind of get my head around shared servers. When we say shared hosting, I know a lot of people don't understand it. And just very quickly, shared hosting is kind of like an apartment building where you have your hosting plan, but you share a server with 30, 40, 50 other people. And if somebody on one of those other hosting plans that you share has a, you know, Nazi porn Al Qaeda site and they get banned, it's everyone suffers because of that. Now it's cheaper, and I think it's a good idea for people starting out. But when you get bigger, dedicated serving a server is probably a good idea. And I'm flirting with the idea of getting a dedicated server.
Yeah, which again, Stanley has, and we offer that with, I think it's hostwithstanley.com at this point. So we
Really,
have the ability
I may talk with him about that because there's some advantages about that, load speed and everything like that.
yeah, so it's something that people should consider as well. And so now talk to me about, this is getting a little esoteric, but one of the things that Stanley says is when you have your own server, there are also some marginal SEO benefits to that as well, right?
It's funny that article talked about that. One of the many factors Google looks at is load speed, how quickly your site loads up. And when you share a server with a lot of other people, you're sharing that pipe out to the internet. So that is a factor. It's not going to make or break anything, but it does have an impact on that. And if your site loads slow, let's face it, if you go to a site, statistics say people have 3 seconds to decide whether they want to click away or not. And if 2 of those are watching, waiting,
right,
boom, they're gone. So it's debatable, but there's articles written by Matt Cutts, the SEO or the Google guy,
yep,
that says there definitely are advantages. They're not going to they're not going to associate expensive servers with top rankings because people just buy their way there, but it does have impact, absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. So I know that, that issue is one of those. And I know that, now what if people wanted to check, where can they check their server load time? Is there some tool like for checking speed of your internet connection? I always go to speedtest.net, but is there somewhere to check how quickly your site is loading?
Well, it's a good question because I recently had a site that it seemed to load slow for me, and I couldn't figure it out. And honestly, if you just Google load speed, kind of things, I actually got a plugin for Firefox called, what is it called? Let's see, I have it right here on my, it's Y slow, the letter Y, then slow, and it's a Yahoo thing. So if you Google Y slow, what it'll do is it'll not only tell you how fast it loads, it'll give you kind of a millisecond by millisecond what is making it load slow. And I found out I had some really big images that I forgot to reduce down, and that had a big problem. So, and what people always forget to do is I've got this blazing FiOS connection, and I forget that, you still say 20–25% of the people are on dial-up, if you believe that.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
You can't judge your own computer speed by what your audience is looking at.
That's true. That's true. So now, Dave, what else do you have to share with us? Because I'm just curious if you have, any more things. I know you've been working on a number of items. So,
well, let me share one that I'm just kind of finishing. My father was in town, and as you know, Fred, he's a speaker, and he's really focusing on his information marketing. And what we did is in 2 days, we created a DVD product, and not just, you know, videos we're going to share, and we are going to share it at a membership, but we literally created a DVD. And I'll show you what the videos are. If you want to type this in, Fred, I think you'd get a kick out of this.
Okay.
It's my site, webmarketingmagician.com, and then /portfolio, then /negotiating. And that's his topic, is negotiating. And we recorded, you'll recognize its keynote. Each one of these is one of the video modules. They're like 10 minutes, and they're a combination of a video camera and keynote, and we recorded it on ScreenFlow. But go ahead and open one of them up.
Hi, this is John Hamilton of KeepNegotiating.com. I'll bet everyone here remembers their first few days, first week or so in real estate. Do you remember what your greatest fear was? Well, I do. My greatest fear was that somebody would ask me a question
How do I stop it,
wouldn't know
Dave?
an answer. Well,
There's
it's been a long time
close button.
for
You're
me
right there.
since that first
Your
day
mouse
in
is
real
on the
estate.
close.
There's no
But
pause.
guess what I
there.
learned early on?
So there's no way for me to pause it.
Well, yeah, I haven't added that yet.
Good. So now, I was just trying to advance that. Is there so there's keynote mixed in with these as well?
Well, it's a keynote, which is the Max PowerPoint.
Hi, John.
And we recorded it on ScreenFlow, so the video, and there's a point where the video shrinks down to the corner and the PowerPoint bullet items show up. But what was really exciting is after we recorded these, I pulled up iDVD on the Mac and burned a DVD with a menu, and I went out to my widescreen TV, popped it in the Blu-ray player, and it looked fantastic. I was really blown away by the quality, and we used the webcam on my Mac. I mean, it was not high end. So anyway,
yeah, another great example of how a lot of people think they have to spend a lot of money to get started in this business, and if all they have is a Mac, they can use GarageBand and iMovie and use the built-in camera on the Mac. It won't be the best thing, but it certainly wasn't too bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, and for web-based training, I have to shrink it down. It's too good a quality. I have to reduce it so it can be viewed on the web.
Yeah. Now, explain to us why you had to reduce it to be able to use it on the web. What do you mean?
Well, what I learned is when I wanted to, because we wanted to multi-purpose these. Each time we recorded one, we knew we wanted it to be on a DVD, a physical DVD that we wanted to sell. And in fact, he just left today, and he took a DVD with him to sell to the people that he's going to speak to. But we wanted to record it at the best settings for the DVD.
Yeah.
And then to put it on the web, well, we needed to reduce it greatly. And I have my own little checklist of how to effectively reduce a video so you maximize quality while minimizing file size.
So what'd you come up with as some of your parameters? Why don't you share those with us?
Well, I basically pulled a couple things, and I use, believe it or not, I use a free program called Handbrake, and what it does is in fact, I could even give you my notes, but I recorded I haven't recorded. I want to record a video, but it all is with bit rate and file size, and I wanted to optimize it.
Dave, slow down a second. First off, what is Handbrake? It's a free program. It is a Mac-based program. How do you can just download it?
It's Mac or PC. You just have to search for it, but it's a free download. And what it does, I think all it does is it converts videos. So, yep, that's it. And you download that, and then really, I just kind of followed along. Someone else did a tutorial of how to some parameters of how to get the file sizes the way you wanted. I mean, I was starting with a file size of about 2 gigabytes, and those videos you watched were about 30 megabytes, but still good quality.
Right. So you were able to reduce them by a factor of 30 or 35 times.
Yeah, and most people, unfortunately, you record a video and they try to upload it, and it's just massive. So it's a bit of a...
In one sentence, Dave, what does Handbrake do?
Handbrake takes your raw videos that you record and converts them into a web-ready format.
Yeah. And now, do they give you hints on, like you said, you had to go someplace else to get training on that?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You had to go somewhere else to get training on how to use Handbrake. Is there no, it's an open source stuff, so they obviously don't spend a whole lot of time putting money into training and whatever. So
yeah.
how do I learn how to use it?
Well, I'll be honest with you. You know where I learned the settings is in the training area of Optimize Press. They have video training, and one of their videos happens to be how to prepare your videos for the web. And I just followed that, and I thought, oh, this is good stuff. So I jotted notes, and I tweaked a few things myself, but even things down to how to make it what's the right size so it'll fit on an iPad. You don't want it too big, so if that matters to you.
Yep.
So it just some parameters that work.
Good. Okay. And well, one of the other things that is happening for me is that one of Bill O'Hanlon's friends that he's using, Sandy is her name. Sandy is taking all of my ebooks and converting them into all these forms where people can buy them in any possible form, Kindle, et cetera, et cetera. And because Bill the other day told me that he made like $1,400 for a quarter with some stuff that he just wasn't even putting any effort into. But I think, Avish, you should tell us about, what did we just talk about right before the call that had something to do? Oh, we were talking about the whole idea. Tell people, as it relates to writing, what that guy was saying. So Avish had read something about writing, and this guy's concept was what? And who was the person? Who can we reference?
I have to look at it.
Yeah, whatever.
Dean Wesley something.
Dean Wesley something, whatever. And so what was he saying?
He was basically saying the old model of writing and publishing. You would write one book every 1 to 2 years. But with e-publishing now, and you get up on Amazon and Kindle and Nook and all that, you make about $3 a book if you sell it for a low price. And the idea being that if you want to reach an income of like $80,000 in a year, and if you estimate you sell 3 books a year, you need to have 21 books to make $80,000. So he basically said that you want to get to 21 books as fast as you can. If you write 1 a year, that's 21 years before you can make a real living. But if you write 5 books a year, you're talking 4 years to get to that point. And the key being that you can write 1,000 words in about an hour. And I know that's true for me, and when I'm in a role, I can go much more than that in an hour. So that's 360,000 words in a year, which is 60,000 word books, which is a good length for a nonfiction book. And then you can translate that to anything, whether it's blog posts or audio content, video content. An hour a day, and you can have a ton of stuff out there. And even if none of them sell for a lot of money or make a lot each, the aggregate of just putting out a lot of content can really turn into real money. Yeah.
So in other words, what he's saying is that volume of content ends up with more. And I was just talking to Avish about the fact that, this week I've recorded, already, and it's just whatever we in Wednesday, I've already recorded 6 hours of audio material in terms of content that I'm going to get paid for. So the more stuff you produce, and again, going back to this site here, lots and lots of volume of information, audio, video, text, etc. People can go here, they can watch the webinars that we're doing right now are all of them are recorded, and many of them, the vast majority of them, they're all getting transcribed. And so the net result here is that when someone goes to your site and they see this volume of content, you will end up being the de facto expert in your field. Because, you click, you read the transcript, there's just tons and tons of information where people can get stuff from you. And if you want to be the leader in your field, you've got to crank out a lot of content, not just to be the leader of the field, but to make more money. Because now with all the different electronic forms that you can buy things in, it just makes a whole lot of sense. Now, one of the things, and Dave, you can probably address this, is there's a little bit of, there's a problem here because the question always becomes, what do I give away, and what do I sell? And I think that you, Dave, now with your dad's stuff, what percentage or what's the mix that you're using? What are you giving away there and what are you selling?
Well, his model right now is he's giving away almost everything.
Right. Why? What's his end game?
That's what I keep asking him that. He's just a nice guy, and he's not doing this because he's hurting for money. He genuinely likes generating the content, and he's got a few thousand people following him on his email list, and they reply back like he's writing them an email, so that they love him, they follow him. But I said, look, we got to package some of this to sell because you've got hungry customers. So, and he agrees. So what we're going to do with this content we created is we're having, his site is keepnegotiating.com,
right,
and all the stuff is available there. But we're going to have a inner circle, a members area where for once a month people can go and get this access, and what they're going to use it for is for sales training. So many real estate offices have a sales meeting every week, and they need content to help motivate their sellers, their real estate agents, and this is perfect, fodder for that. So he wins people over with his blog and with his email lists and his archives like you, but then he's got a special VIP area for stuff like this, and then we're going to have physical products that we'll ship out like DVDs.
Got it. So you're going to both have, you're obviously going to have a membership site, and you're also going to have physical DVDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think I think that'll go that way for a while. I think that there are people now. The latest, and I guess we're sort of doing a pre-release, but most of the people here aren't in this field anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But one of the things that you've been working on for myself and Bill O'Hanlon has been this site, which we're just about to release, which is therapyaudiodigest.com. And by the way, I don't know if you saw my note, but the inconsistency between one of the things here, this is for people who are in the psychotherapy field. And if we listen here to what Bill, let me just point out something because I think this is relevant to everybody watching and listening. So.
Hi, this is Bill O'Hanlon. I've been a therapist for over 30 years, and I've written about 33 books and about 60 articles or book chapters, all while trying to raise 4 kids and have a personal life. I know how busy therapists can be. Do you have that pile of unread or partially read books or journal articles next to your bed? If you do, you're not alone. I can tell you that. There's just not enough time to keep up these days, is there, with our busy personal and professional and family lives. If you're one of those people who's a tad behind on your professional reading, I suspect I have the solution for you. Therapy Audio Digest, or TAD for short. TAD is a monthly audio summary of the best from the journals and recent books, plus we include a short interview with a cutting-edge expert in the field and a helpful tool or resource for therapists in each issue. In just 30 minutes each month, you can get valuable professional knowledge to listen to in your car, on your iPod, or on a CD. You can listen to it while you're driving or exercising or grocery shopping. Erase all that guilt for those unread books and journals you haven't gotten to. Feel up to date, finally, in the field. Heck, you might even impress your therapist friends at cocktail parties or conferences. And we'll give you content that will help you be a more effective therapist. So what do you need to do to get going? Check out the sample issue. Then click the Start My Subscription Now button to start getting your monthly.
So what I wanted to bring up there is that says free preview. I think it should say free sample issue, just like what he said.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So I would change that because we want to make it consistent between what he says and what the verbiage is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And
Yeah, that won't be hard to do, but you're right. Yeah, we keep it so they can follow exactly what he's saying and not get confused.
yeah, and so I mean, or free preview issue, free sample issue. I think is it's probably good to match what he said. But the point is that now the reason why this can work in this field is there's a few things which are really important. So why will this work? And again, I'm sort of saying this as if I have a crystal ball. But number one, I think that Bill is a rock star, in the psychotherapy field. That's number one. Two, he has a hardcore, don't insert the wrong thing there, hardcore group of followers on an email list. Okay, and three, he speaks all over the place to groups in the field. Four, that the audio digest will be excellent. And if you put all those things together, and five, of course, pricing is great. So our model here is going to be that we're going to come out with this. We're going to let 500 people join at $9, basically at $10, $9.95 a piece. And then from 500 to, we're not sure what number, maybe it's 3,000, maybe it's 2,000, maybe it's 2,500, whatever it is. Don't worry, Adam, we're just hanging it. So 500 to 2,500 people, we're going to price that at $14.95 or about $15. Then we're going to go to, at 2,500 plus or whatever the number is, we're going to go to, we're going to go to $20. So it's three-tiered pricing here. We got $10, $15, and $20. And so at $20, you take a look at these numbers. I mean, it gets pretty significant because if you take just these multiplied alone, that's like $5,000 there. And you take this, let's say that, you had 15 people, even at, 15 times what? Let's say we had 1,000 people, right? It's 15. Yeah. No, that's 15,000. Yeah, that's like a lot of money. And then let's say that we had another, 2,000 people at this price. What am I? Is this like? Are these real numbers here? Yeah, I think they are. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're looking at that's like $60K monthly or something ridiculous like that. That's a lot of money. And so it is very possible that we're going to have just a group of people here. But the reason why this works is because of who Bill is. And because he's a rock star in the field, has a hard group of followers and an email list. I think his email list is something around 6,000 people, thereabouts. I think that's what he said the last I heard. So around 6,000 people. He's got a good group of folks that follow him. He speaks all over the place. He used to be speaking more often. And the thing is that what he was able to shoehorn me into is like a couple of speaking gigs where I'm speaking to folks that are in the psychotherapy field as well, dealing with some stuff that I know something about. So there you have it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this will work, and I think that it's a good example. So I would encourage everybody who's listening now to go check this out, take a look at this as a model. But again, I would be very, very careful to think that you can make this work unless you had the following. So if you step back from that, if he is in fact a rock star in the industry and he's able to do this, we've got to ask ourselves, well, before you can even think about doing any kind of program like this and generating these kinds of numbers, are you a rock star in your field? Do you have a hardcore group of email followers? Do you speak all over the place to different groups, and can you get people sort of in? And by the way, when you click on this link here, it takes you to the free sample issue, which Dave, by the way, has put together. All this is Dave's work, by the way. And so Dave has put this together in such a way as to have it, available to everyone. And the other thing that I'll show you this. So what you can do is you click here to listen to the pilot issue, but we've also set it up so that here's the transcript of the entire thing as well. So you can either listen to it, download it onto your iPod, listen to it online, whatever you want, and here's just to give you a sample of this. We're going to click on this just to give you an idea of what it sounds like.
Therapy Audio Digest, a monthly audio magazine for psychotherapists and people interested in psychotherapy.
Hi, this is Bill O'Hanlon.
Yeah, so we go back and forth with a professional announcer like Bill DeWeese, and back and forth into that. So we've got plenty of of good substance there, done in a very professional manner. And so we're curious to see what that is. But Elliot Connie, one of my newer JV partners, came into town just yesterday. And let me give you this for everybody who's watching. This is like sort of a pretty interesting idea here. So he comes into town, which is yesterday, 2 days ago, which is Monday. And so we sit down. He comes in Monday a.m. and he leaves Monday p.m. So he stays here at my place for about 9 hours. So over those 9 hours, we record. So we recorded, what was it? We recorded 3 audio programs. Okay, so we recorded the 3 audio programs, and then we duplicated them. I got this machine that duplicates DVDs. So we duplicated them and and spit them out. So we had a total of 40 each. So a total of 120 audio CDs. So now what happens is that Elliot has a speaking engagement today, and I'm going to get the numbers from him, but he takes those, and our idea was for him to take these and sell them pre-publication. Now, by pre-publication, I mean that what we did was we took these audio CDs that were just like off my little, it's a 1:5 duplicator that I've got here, and we literally wrote with a Sharpie the name of the program on all 3 of them. So we wrote Sharpie name on all the audios. So now he's got these audio CDs with this plastic cover, very sort of back office kind of thing. Very doesn't look really super professional, but it doesn't matter because here was the approach. Eventually, the pricing on those 3 audio CDs was probably going to be about $100. But when he does this, there's a good, what we call, and remember we talked about this in the program, there's a good reason why. So when you take a $100 program and you reduce it to $50, you've got to give people what we call the reason why. Why did you reduce the price? What's a legitimate reason why that price was reduced? And the reason why is it looked like crap. In addition to that, it was like packaged poorly. So we just sort of slapped it together. We wrote the name of the program on there, and so he's going to offer those for $50. So now if he sells all of those out, he's going to have a total revenue, in addition to his speaking fee that he's getting paid, of $2,000. So because 50 times 40 sets. So he's going to sell them only as a set, and you can buy them at $50, and he's going to stand up, and he could be doing this right now as we speak. I mean, I forget what exact time he goes on, but chances are Elliot is going to report to us on how well he did, and I told him to come up with a little order sheet, so people can do it, and he's got his assistant there with him, and he's going to say, look, I've only got 50 of these, and they're only 40 of these, and they're only available at 40 of these at this price of $50, because I'm going to go back to my office, I'm going to fancy these up and put a fancy label on them, and people are going to pay $100. But for now, if you buy them, so $50, so he then, I think he got paid right around $2,000 was his speaking fee, plus now, if he sells them all out, he actually doubles his speaking fee, so he makes a total of $4,000, and that's nice because, he's making money that he wouldn't have had. Pretty good.
Yeah, and for a day's work. Yeah,
for a day's work. And so my whole point is that so many people who are in the, in the speaking business are looking for ways, they're looking for ways, I think, to make this complicated. It's really not. I mean, we literally sat down here. He came and showed up. So what happened was he showed up with an outline. Okay, so he had 3 outlines, and we had to do a little tweaking, but for the most part, 3 outlines. I interviewed him, and each one of the audios, I think the total length of all the CDs combined was about 90 minutes. So we're not talking about multi-hour programs here. We're talking about really sort of short stuff because people were interested. This is a group of therapists that were interested in what his system was as to how to do this. So we just, we did our thing here, and we were able to produce that for him, and now I'm anxious to see the results. In fact, I'll probably text him at some point and see what it is. So now Burke just came on. Burke, how are you doing? Burke? Okay.
I'm good. I was muted and listening.
Okay, yeah, and you got a little garbling
I'm good, then.
going on there. You're garbled.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
That's my headset. I'm not sure what's going on. Is that any better, Fred?
Nope, hasn't improved.
Hello, 12222. I can switch over to the telephone.
Yeah, still pretty garbled.
Okay.
Now
Let
it's
me-
a little bit better. It sounds scratchy.
Yeah, it's staticky.
I don't know where you are, but we just use the built-in mic on the Mac, and it seems to work pretty well.
Let me unplug my. Better. Any better?
Much better. Yeah.
Wow, that was my headset that sounded.
Yeah,
better.
I would
Okay.
never. With the Mac, you don't need to use a headset as long as you're in a quiet environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, I'm doing well. I've been traveling a bunch, but I'm back off the road and happy to be back.
Well, I showed Avish, who's sitting here next to me because we got some stuff going on. I showed him the finals of America's Got Talent and showed him your guy from Logan, West Virginia there.
Yeah, my new client. We spent a week in Los Angeles doing photo shoots for the album cover and also recording in the Capitol Records Tower with a full orchestra, which was a pretty neat thing.
Now, did you get to meet Frank Sinatra Jr.?
It's funny. We because our schedule was a day off, and we were late. We kind of threw off Frank Sinatra Jr.'s schedule, so he didn't make it in. But we did use all of his dad's arrangements for the album, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Wow.
And so, how many songs did he record?
He recorded 12 songs plus 2 bonus tracks, and it reminded me of Information Marketing, by the way. It's a 12-song album, and then there will be 2 bonus tracks available only at a retailer, which will be either Walmart or Target for a special package that people will purchase there. They'll get the 2 bonus tracks and some bonus DVD footage.
When will this be available?
Thanksgiving week. It'll roll out in time for Black Friday.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. And so now, is he an official client now?
He is, yeah. He's an official client. He's a wonderful fella.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. And it was just, Avish had never seen him before. And I said, I kept the screen turned to me and said, listen to this guy. And it's amazing the voice that comes out of him, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't expect that voice to come out of that guy, and I think that's part of the charm and also part of the challenge in making that album, because an album is an audio product, just like you teach. And how can we make this album so good that even without that visual of an African-American guy in dreadlocks, so good that people will want to hear it anyway?
Yeah, I think it's
and
sort
that's
of,
why we were-
I don't know, his last appearance that I just watched on YouTube on America's Got Talent, he had his dreadlocks pulled back and stuff like that. I don't really think it's all that off-putting anymore.
Yeah, I think that the initial sort of shock was there, and the key is on anything like that. You talk about making Bill O'Hanlon's product great. That was the whole challenge with making the CD. It couldn't be a karaoke CD.
Yeah.
That's why you spring for the full orchestra. And actually, today they're recording full strings to add to it, so that it's big and full and lush. The product has to be great no matter what.
Now, remind me. Now he won $1 million, which, by the way, you told me the net on that was $540,000 or whatever.
Yeah. It's it's one of these things that they sort of sneak into the contracts. It's a present value deal. So if you take it out now at present value plus after taxes, it becomes a whole lot less than $1 million.
Yeah, and so, but you guys.
You could take the annuity over 40 years at $25,000 a year, but that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't make any sense. So then, so now what else does this recording contract, that is in addition to his $1 million or $530,000?
That's right. That's exactly right. So you get a performance at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, the headline there.
When is that, by the way? You got me tickets for that yet?
That is, hopefully I'll be seeing you in Vegas. It's October 28th, 29th, and 30th.
28th, 29th, and 30th. You know what? Luckily, I am back from New York.
Maybe you can be my date.
You know what? I will, but I will not wear any of the kind of things that you ask your wife to wear.
I knew it. I knew that was coming. But yeah, you get that, and then you also, Sony, Columbia Records, has an option to sign whoever wins, and they picked up the option on him.
And by the way, folks, you too can have Burke Allen as your publicist by going to allenmediastrategies.com. Burke Allen is one of my JV partners and available for you as well.
Bless you for that.
So now,
no, let me tell you, though, all kidding aside, a lot of what I've learned from you we're putting into play with this whole project. It's about, having a great product and then looking for secondary products. He has a great backstory. If you never watched the show, I mean, he was homeless at one point,
Yep.
and he's had just this horrible. He was washing cars 6 months ago.
Yep.
So there's a great story there that we're now talking to publishers about doing a book. So there's another product, and then of course there's the live performances is another product, and even some speaking because he has a great story. So we're looking to have lots of different income streams. It's not going to be just one thing.
I think, Burke, what we need to do is hook him up with Ted Williams and a few other guys in the formerly homeless review.
That's right. They can play soup kitchens around the country.
Exactly. But so now, no, seriously though, tell people who are listening what it is. What were some of the things that you've learned from me, other than what you just said, secondary products? What are some of the other things that are playing themselves out in this scenario as well?
Well, I can tell you that in the last 3 weeks, and this all came very, very quickly after he won, the biggest thing that I sort of took away from how you set up your business is putting a system in place for everything and making it very, very simple. Because there's so many different things that are coming at you just at a rocket's pace because they want this album out very quickly, and yet my job as manager and as publicist is to make sure the product is phenomenal. You can't just rush something to market, and yet you want to capitalize on it and hit while the iron is strike while the iron is hot. And those are things that you show me. And the other thing too is surrounding yourself with a great team. We have this JV partner team, and I'm in the process of building a team for him, a team for his life. A CPA and an entertainment lawyer and the publicity and the whole bit. So
yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you've already put him in touch with financial people, but my financial guy that I've had for almost 30 years in New York is beyond reproach.
And that's hugely important because people will come out of the woodwork, friends and family and hangers-on, and you wouldn't believe the just crazy requests that we've already gotten. And one other direct thing that we've done is we've put up a splash page for him while a web presence is being built.
Where is that? Let's see it.
It is at LandauMurphyJr.com, LandauMurphyJR.com. Okay. And that's before, any of the album artwork was finished or any of that. We've got something up, and there's a database capture there.
Yep.
Sign up for the email newsletter so we can build his database, and there are ways for people to get in touch with us for bookings and publicity, and you'll see our addresses there. I took that picture, and that's Landau with the governor.
This one right here
in
that
front
I
of
just
his
pulled
big
up.
homecoming. Yep. That was the big homecoming celebration. There are over 5,000 people there, and there are less than 1,600 people in our hometown.
Wow, cool. And yeah, so you're from the same small hometown to Logan that he's from.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so now he is, this was where he was on America's Got Talent. There you are with him here, it looks like. And this one, there's Burke Allen on the far right. Next to Ted Danson.
Standing beside, you know who that is beside me?
Ted Danson.
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. We're on the down on the field at a New York Giants Monday Night Football game. The guy on the far left there is the producer of the album, Steve Tyrell, and he's released 9 albums of his own. He's the Grammy-winning guy who did Rod Stewart's Great American Songbook. The guy beside him is Steve Tisch, who's the co-owner of the Giants.
Cool. And so, so now, did he get to sing at the Giants game?
That is on tap for December. We're waiting. It's all about timing, so we're waiting for the album to be released.
Nice. So then he'll be singing "God Bless America" or something.
Yeah, or the national anthem. Yep.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. So how is it being with all hobnobbing with all the big shots?
Well, it's a letdown after hobnobbing with you.
You know what? I didn't want to say that, but I sort of suspected as much. But that's great. So these are people that again that Burke works at, and so tell us. A little bit about the strategy so that some of the people watching or listening to this program might gain some insights as to how you do things. What did you sort of, by the way, when did you finalize the deal that you were going to be his manager?
Within 3 days of meeting him for the first time.
Yeah.
And we showed value. I mean, our whole process was to make sure that he felt protected and that he had somebody looking out for his best interest, and that's what we can do.
And the thing about it is, it's also interesting because I saw his pianist in one of the pieces on YouTube. The pianist that he has is also his lawyer, who's one of your buddies.
Yeah, he's an old friend and a client of the firm, and you know, we look for ways to have synergy like that. You know, we have another client who's a famous author, and he wrote the notes on a Grammy-winning artist CD cover. So you know, we look for ways to put things together, and this was one of those things.
Well, that's very cool. So, I will definitely be here during those times. So, I'll have to be your date.
I like it.
Yeah, I will not be wearing a skirt, though.
Oh.
I don't like it.
So anyway, what we'll do here is, that's good. I think that now, does anybody have, let me see if anybody in the audience has any questions. Anybody listening, feel free to write your questions in the questions department there, or in the questions area for either Burke, myself, Avish, Dave Hamilton, anybody that you want to talk to. Now is the time to post your questions. I'll give you, a second, a minute or two to do that if you have any questions about anything we've talked about on this particular webinar, because I would like to answer them if you have them. So I will give you a couple minutes to do that, and if you don't post any questions, and then we'll pretty much be done.